So if you talk about history, the book that I am going to recommend first is History of Assam by Edward Gait. Why that book? Because that book has brief historical facts about entire history of Assam, and after reading that book, if you can explore the area that interests you the most. But that book is an introduction, it's a very good beginner book. So reading that book will give you a basic understanding, and most of the books that I am going to talk about today are all English books because I consume content mostly in English. So these books are all in English. I know I should read more in Assamese or other languages, in Hindi language, but I have read very few. So I'm going to share most of these books in English language. So Edward Gait, History of Assam is a book that I deeply recommend, highly recommend. Second book after reading Edward Gait, History of Assam, I would recommend is this particular book called Strangers of the Mist by Sanjoy Hazarika. So this book is actually political history, pre-independence Assam, and then also explores post-independence, post-Assam Andolan, emergent to insurgency, and all these areas it explores. And it's a very beautiful book because it is written in a very narrative format, and also it has history, political history, politics, all these aspects, and it in a very beautiful language written by Sanjoy Hazarika. It will give you a brief understanding of all these political happenings, and especially the chapter that is on cabinet mission plan, where Gopinath Borodloi fought for Assam, and that is one of the reasons that we are now not in East Pakistan or Bangladesh, you can say. This book will give you that energy that if they can do it, why can't I do it, and I should do something about Assam or my own lands, and that energy it has. So it's a very beautiful book. After reading this book, and if you think that you like this topic and you want to explore more, then you can explore this particular book that is from my father's library. It's a very rare book that you will not find in Pan Bazaar or any other bookstall. It's by Nirode Baruah. It's Gopinath Borodloi, The Assam Problem and Nehru Center. So this is a fine book. It is about Gopinath Borodloi's narrative when it comes to dealing with the problems that he had to face during the entire party following pre-partition, post-partition, and all the politics surrounding Gopinath Borodloi. And also there are certain allegations against Gopinath Borodloi, and those allegations have been clarified by Nirode Baruah, who is an excellent writer, and I'm a big fan of Nirode Baruah. So this book is important if you like what Sanjoy Hazarika has written and you want to explore more about Gopinath Borodloi. Then this book is definitely a must read, and it also has a lot of good historical anecdotes that have gone missing from the contemporary popular narrative. So this is a good book. After reading that book, and if you want to go more deeper, and this is not for everyday people, I am going deeper because it helps it because of some work that I am doing, then you can explore Political History of Assam. It is a 4-volume book. It's very technical, very factual. This is basically an annexure book that is being used to write other books. So this book you can give a skip, but I am reading it because it has certain elements that is needed. And then after history, so, and before I continue, I would say that these books are not the main books of history. There are many books. These are just books that I have read personally. So this is personal. In my personal journey, these books have helped me. You can read many other books that are out there. Now another book that I'm going to highly recommend is, culturally I would say, is that I am a journalist, so I relate to the personal journey of Bhupen Hazarika a lot, because he did his journalism in Columbia University, and when he was doing his journalism, he talked about coming back to Assam and working for Assam, and even talked about working locally. And I think that sentiment is for many people who have gone out of the state and are doing something good outside, and they also share this similar sentiments that we should give back something to our community. So this autobiography in Assamese language, Moi Eti Jajabor, this is, I think, my first Assamese book which I have personally bought and read. I have read Assamese in my school, but not as a hobby. I have not read after passing out from school, and that is not a good thing, I'm saying. But this book has been really immense for me, because Bhupen Hazarika, if you read this book, is a Guwahati boy. He does things that we have been doing, and you can relate to that sentiment that he is just like us, but he is so big, so great. So I really enjoyed reading this book, and it's a very beautiful adaptation done by the writer Sanjoy Hazarika, and it's a very beautiful book. I highly recommend this book. Another book that I have really enjoyed, and that this is a personal book because this is written by one of my maternal grandfathers. It's called Itihakhor Saah Puhorot Puroni Guwahati. So if you are interested in Guwahati and its history, then you must definitely read this book in Assamese. It's by Kumudeswar Hazarika. All these books I will share it on the description. So this book writes about everything about Guwahati under the sun. It talks about history, how the name came, how Guwahati, all these name came because of the pronunciation by the British officers. So all of these beautiful history this book has, and I think this book needs to be read by everyone who likes to call himself a Guwahatiite, a Guwahatian. That person should read this book ideally. Another book, and this is a fictional book that I have really enjoyed by a writer of Assam based on Assam, is this particular book Rebirth. This is written by Jahnabi Baroah. This book is actually about a woman who is in Bangalore, and she has her own issues with her husband, but she has written it in such a beautiful tone, and it has also few bits of Guwahati, the modern Guwahati, and I think that narrative is missing in our books that talks about the modern day life. So this is a very beautiful book that I have really enjoyed reading, and I deeply recommend this book, Jahnavi Baroah's Rebirth. Another book that I am reading currently, and these are all I am reading because I buy a lot of books but I don't read. Sky is My Father. It's written by Eastern Kire and legendary writer. It's about the Konoma village in Nagaland, how the British came to Nagaland. It's all about those colonial issues, and it's a superb book that I'm reading, and I'm very passionate about this issue. I have to complete it, but I'm not yet done. Then there are other books that I've read. So many books. That one book that I've really enjoyed that talks about Barak Valley and Brahmaputra Valley. It's written by Abdul Muhib Mozumdar. It's called Down the Memory Lane. That book also has shaped my understanding for Barak Valley people, that I initially had a lot of misconceptions about them. Then another book that I am yet to read, The House with 1,000 Stories. It's by Aruni Kashyap. This is a gift that I've received from a friend. Then I'm yet to start this book. I will have to read this book as well. So the basic idea behind this video is to explore that there are so many good books out there about Assam, about Northeast, that we can explore, and by reading these books, it helps us on our personal journey at a time when we feel lost, that whether we should come back to our home or stay outside or do something about it. What can we do about our own lands, about our own community, about our own family and people? And reading, I think, is the only way to get a sense and perspective of all the things that goes inside our head, and the ability to feel but not able to do anything about it. I think reading helps us a lot in that venture, and these books are my personal books. I know I need to read more. If you think that I missed out a good book or I can read something better, there is always the comment section. You can comment about it. I'm going to be making these videos about reading, my life, my everything surrounding my own personal journey from now on.